Welcome everybody back to Nine's Corner. I hope everybody's doing well, feeling well, and I have to.
Is that if people want to wear a mask, that is okay. It protects others
Oh,
more than it protects you because
here
it
it
prevents you
comes.
from breathing
Oh no.
or speaking moistly on them. Oh, what a terrible image.
Oh my God. Look, even during these times when things are crazy, we need to have a good laugh. And I appreciate that Trudeau was able to supply that because that was awesome. So I will try to not speak too moistly. I'm going to take a sip. So I thought while I was out here getting my vitamin D and enjoying the clear day, and I said in my last video that I was following Joseph Campbell. No, he's the one that wrote The Power of Myth. I am mistaken. It's Dr. John Campbell. So my apologies, but I still think he's brilliant. So I thought, let's look into what's happening with Canada. There's sort of this feeling of Trudeau being such a globalist and really dropping the ball in the beginning. I mean, rather than, worrying about our limitations in medical supplies, he sent medical supplies. Some people see that as good gesture of goodwill and they gave it back. Some people see it as, you know what, you're too global, too much of a globalist. Then, you know, he also has a penchant for changing the facts because Canada did not and still has not closed down the borders. And, recently he decided that he and his wife were going to go to the cottage. And he's telling everybody, stay in place, don't leave, don't get out for any reason. People are being arrested. Families are telling on other families. I know this is not just happening in Canada, it's happening around the world, but my God, like, it's one thing if you see 40 or 50 people gathering in somebody's backyard, but like calling on people because they don't look like they're related and they're walking down the street, or boyfriend and girlfriend are still going to each other's houses. Like, as long as everybody's in the know and okay about it and it's not more than, that one, like, come on, like, this is crazy. So I thought, let's have a look and see what is Trudeau's past, present, and future based on what's happening right now. Because there's a lot of people that will look back at this time and see what is it that Donald Trump, God, what Trudeau has done and what his reasoning is, because there's a lot of, unknowns. There's a lot of money being spent on unknowns. There's a lot of money and focus on Nunavut and the Northwest Territories. Why? And, there's, so let's just see. What is Trudeau's past, present, and future? Past. King of Wands. He is the king who's going to get things done, bring Canada into the 20th century, make us part of the world on a world stage. And this is also the King of Wands being influenced by his father, as his father was the Prime Minister of Canada. So, future. Seven of Pentacles, yeah. There's going to be a lot of looking back, trying to trace back, where has this money gone? Why did this happen? Why did, when we were finding out about the virus, did we do research on racism towards Chinese in Canada based on the virus rather than putting that money somewhere real? Why are, they're going to be looking back and saying, why did Canada's response be based on the fact that it was information coming from the world, so they couldn't give out that information to Canadians? They had to pass it through somebody. There's going to be review. This is going to cause some debates. Future. Oh, you know what? I think Trudeau is going to have a lot of explaining to do. I think he's going to be put in a restful place. I think people are, after this, they're not going to be wanting to have his opinion. I think that when we do the review, there's going to be a lot of things, like 2020 is always bringing light to the darkness, that we're going to find out in the mix. So, interesting. So, here in Alberta, we are with our Prime Minister, our Premier. He's certainly taking the forefront of really acting like the Prime Minister, certainly in a lot of the Western view, because, you know, although Alberta was dealing with the oil crisis, although Alberta was dealing with the coronavirus, they still had the foresight, unlike Trudeau, to get medical supplies. They still did the highest testing in the world. So I'm going to look at it. Is Canada looking to change government and go into get into a PC government? And will Alberta and Jason Kenney, will he be leading the way? So let's have a look. Past, present, future. Past comes from the bottom. So, Five of Wands. This is the PC party just not being able to get their, you know what, together. There's so much infighting. They lost sight of who they are, what they represented. And that was certainly having to look at maybe some of their conservative thoughts need to change with the times. Future. Two of Swords. I think it's too early to tell what's going to be the future because there's so much to happen between now and then. I think that there are two situations that are weighing very carefully and heavily on the Conservative Party, and that's dealing with the financial situation, because that's something that's going to be affecting us in Canada from coast to coast to coast. It's not going to be an easy ride, and I think that there's still so much that that's happened in the government that it's going to be like, even if it's the Conservatives and Kenny who gets in, they will walk in and go, what has happened? Because there's so much that we as the Canadians have not seen that's been going on in the government. Oy. So, yeah, future, Six of Cups. We're going to be going back to some of our conservative ways. I think we're going to have to realistically get back to local sourcing, getting back to putting people first. And that's not putting Canadians first, that's putting people first. There has to be a change in this world for all. So this gives me hope. I'd like to see, how is Canada going to financially, economically be over the next, say, 2 to 3 years. So let's say 3 years, and we'll just pick 3 cards. So say from now, so April 2020 to April 2021, 22, 23. So, oy, Seven of Cups. So, you know what? The future could be bright. There's going to be lots of possibilities, but these possibilities will only come out from change. And there's going to be some change that's going to be happening worldwide. And this is going to take time, several years, in fact. But there's so much that affects it. And it's not just within Canada. It's how the world reacts to everything. You almost have to have a plan A, B, C, D, and E, F, G, and so on. So, ooh, the sun. So I think that there's going to be an illumination on what is missing. There's going to be an illumination on missing opportunities, that we can't live in the past. The past ways of things being done no longer work. And we are in a great position with our land, our resources, and with the people, and the ability to add to that, to create a new reality. Future. Knight of Swords. So guys, we're going to go through a few years, not months, years of pain. And there's going to be some payback. But I believe the Knight of Swords is saying that the people are going to rise up, and there's going to be reality and truth being seen in 2020 that's going to say, no, we need to stand up for what we know to be right and be part of that change. So I think the economy will become robust, but it's going to be, the sword is going to make it be a very interesting change. And there's going to be like the double side where, there has to be rules and regulations to keep us safe from the virus. But we have to be careful not to go on the other side of the sword where we let our rights be taken away from us, because when the government takes something away from you, it doesn't come back easily. So, the world, everybody is going through this change, and we're part of it. So what advice can the universe give for Canadians for going through this pandemic, our place in the world? How is it going to affect us? Advice going forward, how we can deal with the changes that are coming for everybody. Nine of Wands. Keep your head down. Know that we have what it takes to manifest and to get through this. But as we get through this, we have to come together in our solidarity. This is not a battle that's going to be won easily, and it's certainly not going to be won quickly. But we're on the 9. We're on the cusp of that change coming into the new beginning. But it doesn't happen overnight, not for anybody, not even for Canada. So I think things are going to be amazing. I really do. I have so much hope and feeling of renewal that's coming. I don't know if it's because I'm out in this sunlight and spring, and even the cold air is rejuvenating me. My husband and my son, they're gone down. They're going to be planting some seeds and everything, very Canadian of us. And even though this is my coffee mug, I love my Buddha mug, there's Tim Hortons coffee in here. Yes, so as always, I have my light lit for each and every one of us. I hope you can see that. And wishing you light for your darkness. Have a great day, guys. Take care.